In this video, we're going to walk through how to create a newsletter template in Be Engaged. There are a few ways to do this, but we're going to focus on the two easiest options. The first option is creating the newsletter template with the Be Engaged email builder, while the second option is using the Be Engaged email composer to create our template. After logging into Be Engaged, you'll go to your group and then click the Emails shortcut from the group dashboard. We're first going to walk through how to create a newsletter template within the Be Engaged email builder. To get started doing that, we're going to click the Compose Email button at the top right. You have to go through the steps of creating the email with the email builder in order to create the template. So we'll choose who we're sending this email to, and then click Compose Email for selected groups at the bottom. Now you should see the screen where you'll decide if you're going to use the email composer or the email builder. As I mentioned before, we're going to go with the email builder. So we'll click that button. The email builder will be brought up immediately after clicking that option. The email builder is a more advanced and visual way to compose a newsletter or newsletter template in Be Engaged. The email builder is similar to MailChimp and Constant Contact in its setup and easily allows for newsletter creation, which extends to newsletter template creation as well. Now we can proceed to creating our newsletter template. You should see the recipients listed in front of you on the recipients page here. Below your recipients, you'll see that you can also add a CC or BCC email address, as well as decide if you want to send a push notification about this email to members who have the Campus Groups app. Since we're just creating a template, you don't necessarily need to fill out any of those things. Now that we're done with this page, we're going to click the Next button at the bottom of the screen. Now we're brought to the Setup page, where we can add a subject for our template, as well as decide who the email will be sent from when this template goes from just a template to a live email. We can also add any mail merge fields or introduction fields, as well as any attachments that we want to include in this template. Now that we're done, we're going to click the Next button at the bottom right again to move on to the template page, where we'll decide which template we'll be using for this newsletter. Once you've made your selection, click that template and you'll be brought to the Design page, where you can build out and personalize your newsletter template. The template should be on the left-hand side, and the widgets or features you can add to the template will be on the right-hand side. There's a bunch of cool widgets to utilize when building out a newsletter template in Be Engaged. You can see you can add text, images, box text, dividers, events, social links, videos, and more. Creating a template is super user-friendly, especially with the drag and drop interface. Once you've added a widget or feature to your newsletter, to edit that section of the template, just hover over it and click Edit Widget at the top of that section. The widget editing section will appear on the right-hand side of your screen with a text box and editor as well. You can see you have the ability to make your text fancier using the text box editor, utilizing different effects, different headings, different styles, and more. After you finish typing and editing your text for that section of the template, click the orange Save button at the bottom of the right-hand side. You can repeat this for as many text sections that you have in your template. Depending on the template you chose, you'll have the ability to upload photos to the appropriate sections of your template. To do that, you'll click that section, click the Upload button, find the image that you want to upload, click Open, click Save at the top in the editor, and click Save again. You'll then see the image displayed. You can then add a URL or alt text to the image as well. Once you're done, click the orange Save button at the bottom of that section. You can repeat this process for as many sections with photos that you have in your template. You can also drag any other widgets on the right-hand side that you want to drop into your newsletter template on the left-hand side. When you're done making your template look perfect, head to the top right and click the Save as Template option. Once you've done that, you can add a name for your template. Click the blue OK button. Click the OK button again, and then head to the template section of your group to make sure that your template was saved correctly. Before heading there, we're going to click Delivery. We're going to save this email as a draft since we're not done. We're going to head to the template section underneath emails. And at the top, we're going to click Email Builder Templates to pull up all the templates accessible under the Email Builder, which is where we just were. And you can see at the very top, our template was created and saved. It can be edited and adjusted within the Email Builder as we see fit. Other group officers will also be able to see and utilize this template within the Email Builder as well. Now, we're going to walk through how to create a newsletter template with the Email Composer. We're going to click this Classic Email Templates option at the top, which will bring up a list of options. These are all the newsletter templates that we can create within the Email Composer. Choose the template you want to use and click the Duplicate button to the right of its name. You should then see the editable template appear at the very top of the list, which is the one you just duplicated. Click the Edit button to the right of your template, and you can begin building out your newsletter template within the pop-up window that appears. You'll give your template a name, a subject, and then you'll begin editing your template. Just like in the Email Builder, to edit a section of your newsletter, you can click into it and update the text. You can see you have the ability to make your email text fancier using the text box editor and utilizing different fonts, colors, headings, and more. At the very bottom, you can also upload any attachments needed as well. You'll be able to replace and update the images in your template when you go to send your email utilizing this template, which I'll show you how to do in a minute. Now that we've finished typing and editing one section, which is our whole newsletter, if you have more sections to edit, you can repeat these same steps for as many text sections that you have in your template. Once you've finished perfecting your newsletter template, just click the orange Save button at the bottom of the pop-up. Now that you've created your template, you'll see it as one of the options to use when you go into the Email Composer to create an email, which I'll show you right now. We'll head back to the Sent tab on the left-hand menu under Emails, and then click the Compose Email button at the top right. We'll then see our Recipients page next, where we'll pick who we'll send our email to. After you've chosen your recipients, click the orange Compose Email for Selected Groups button at the bottom of the screen. This will bring up the page where we'll decide if we want to use the Email Composer or the Email Builder. Since we've already done the Email Builder, we're going to go with the Email Composer, which will then be brought up after we click the Email Composer button. The Email Composer is the basic form group officers can use to create and send emails and be engaged. Now we can proceed creating our email using the template we just created and sending it to these recipients. As you scroll down the Email Composer, you'll next see the following sections, which you can fill out before sending your email. Adding a CC or BCC email address, sending a push notification to members with the Campus Groups app, choosing a From email address, adding a subject for your email, adding any mail merge fields or introduction fields, and adding attachments. Now, right above the text box, you'll see a list of templates displayed. You should see the one you just created at the very beginning, which I see ours. Now we know we created our newsletter template correctly and can proceed creating and sending our newsletter out using this template. For example, if we wanted to add an image to our newsletter, we would highlight this section, click the image option at the top, and under Upload, we'll click Choose File. We'll choose an image, click Open, wait for the image to load, click the OK button, and we'll see our image at the very top of our newsletter. We can continue creating our newsletter building on the template that we created before, or we can save and send the newsletter right from here. As noted before with the Email Builder, all other group officers will also be able to see the template that we created and used to build out this newsletter, and they'll be able to use that template within this Email Composer as well.